Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn to page 7 and review the application process. Here, I see Victor coming back in now. Okay, so we're on page 7, the application process, and there's just a few things I'd like to point out on this page. The first one is, as a reminder, to please use the competitive chart that Victor reviewed earlier. And that can be found on the Regional Park Program website under Technical Assistance Documents. And that's, again, a great chart to use as a planning tool. And then number 6 on this page, it speaks of the project selection criteria, which is checklist item number 2. That is the scored component of the application package. So that checklist item, the project selection criteria, has to be uploaded in the online application system, which we are using Submittable, by November 5th. We're going to be sending an email blast once Submittable is ready to start accepting RPP applications. But once that project selection criteria is uploaded, no revisions can be made to that criteria, as noted here on page 7 in the bullet point. We encourage you to aim to complete all other checklist items by mid-October, and your project officer will work with you on any incomplete items, such as authorizing resolutions and CEQA. We understand that those items can take longer to process, so in those instances, it's okay if you don't have those types of documents done by the application deadline. The last thing I want to point out is to also take a look at that grant administration guide. It will be available on our program website very soon. It's going to include the contract provisions and basically all of the requirements that you need to understand if your project is selected for funding. So that grant administration guide is the same one that we're using for all of our Prop 68 programs. All right, so now we'll turn to page 8 and go over the grant administration process. Applicants who do receive grant awards are going to be asked to attend a mandatory grant administration workshop before they can receive their grant contract. And then, as a reminder, once again, the grant performance period for this program starts with the appropriation date, which was July 1st, 2020, and it ends on June 30th, 2025. But as Victor mentioned earlier when he was going over the timeline, that even though that's when the grant performance period ends, the targeted completion date is going to be March 2025. And that's really to help ensure that all the paperwork is submitted. We're able to actually go out and do a site visit to make sure that all work is complete and come back to our office and process your final payment request. It all needs to be routed to the state controller's office and paid out before the liquidation date of June 30th of 2025. So that's why that March 2025 date is so crucial, that projects must be completed by or before that date. And then finally, the contract is going to require operation and maintenance of the project site for 30 years. All right, and the next page is left intentionally blank. So before I hand it over to Adela to take us through page 10, I'm going to see if Victor has anything that he would like to address in the chat at this time.
Thank you, Natalie. So for some reason, Richard and I are not receiving or able to post chat questions. So the last question I see is at 1:02, and that is a post from Nikki to Floyd. So I've left the meeting a few times. So go ahead and see if you can answer those questions. I'm going to actually log back in, and we'll be able to answer the questions once the chat works for us again. Excuse me.
Okay, I'm not sure. That's the last chat I see as well, Victor. So I'm not sure if we've if we're receiving anything past 1:02.
Okay. Can someone in the audience please post the word test, and let's see if, okay.
Yep, it's working.
So it's working.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, we're used to more questions. We encourage questions. It helps our presentation. Thank you.
All right, so I'll go ahead and send it over to Adela. Thank you.